All right, so in this video, what I'm going to talk about is how do you come up with a new business idea for you to work on online. So, one of the best things that I personally recommend is that you use Google Trends as a form of guiding you in which direction you should be heading as far as where your focus should be for content creation. So, for example, go ahead and Google Trends, and once you are there, try to search a phrase. So, for example, the word investing. So, investing is so broad and has many different ranges of how it can stem on its own. So, let's say, for example, you search investing, and one of the suggestions would be cryptocurrency, and it might suggest specifically Bitcoin. But there might be something that perhaps you're not aware, something that is bubbling up in the industry itself. And that's where Google Trends comes in handy in order to kind of help you narrow down a specific content type for you to focus and for you to develop that specific untapped, I guess you could say, trend that is developing on the internet. So it's important that you understand the process of uh, building that up. Specifically, I'm referring to how to build up your social media campaigns. So you have to understand that you either have to control organically of how you get more activity on your social media, or you probably have to spend more money in order to grow that campaign. So, as an example, uh, email subscribers, if you were setting up a page on your social media to build up a funnel, to build a process, you have more control organically since you are the one creating the content for your visitors to see what it is that you have. So, print subscribers, like magazines, um, maybe, I don't know, LinkedIn connections would be something you have more control over since, whatever you're putting out in the public, that's how people are going to be aware of who you are. So there's a list. The way you can think about it is like this: email subscribers, you have more control organically. So what I'm saying is that if you're focusing specifically on trying to gain email subscribers, email subscribers would be the highest that you have, the highest control organically to build your audience based on organic visitors. Then there would be print subscribers, LinkedIn subscribers, Twitter subscribers, perhaps iTunes subscribers, and of course, eventually, you have other social medias like Medium, Tumblr, Instagram, Pinterest subscribers, YouTube subscribers, and eventually, what you have on your Facebook uh, followers. So what I'm saying is that your control organically increases on that list. As it goes down, you have less control of how you're controlling your organic um, traffic through your content. So it's important that you have to remember the whole point of you, uh, you know, building content is because you want to build an audience to help you uh, develop your brand, to make it aware that this is who you are. So you have to create a plan. For example, if you're planning on developing social media campaigns from specific platforms of social media, you have to develop a plan. And what I mean by a plan is that you have to have it on paper. So you have to create a plan on paper with the with the goal, not the objection, of building an audience. So you must create value for your audience. If you're creating content, you have to build you have to contribute value. And what that means is that perhaps you're self educating yourself and uh, reintroducing the information from your perspective. So it's a matter of using your creativity to create content for your audience. So typically, for example, there could be two different approaches. There could be the business and the personal approach. So, for example, if you're a person who has a business and you want to develop it, most people take the three platform approach. So, what I mean by this, and not necessarily platform, I guess you could say the three sources of how to get the word out. So, for example, if you're a person who has a product and you want to get the word out, most people create blogs, books, or they try to do public speaking in order to get the word out as much as possible. For business, they try to focus on creating digital content, print, and also in person. So it's really important that you understand that personal and business, they always take that approach of we have three sources of how we want to develop with product. So the whole idea, more than anything, is that you have to build yourself to be an expert in the industry. Uh, and normally it takes between 12 to 40 to 24 months uh, on average if you really put in the time of creating content on a regular basis. And more than anything, you have to remember that whenever you're starting a brand, you have to start with a message, with a story. So your message matters a lot. So you come off as someone who is very personal. Uh, you don't want to come off as being robotic or anything like that. So um, whenever you're getting visitors to your content, you have to realize something. There will be people who opt in to perhaps give your content a try, and there will be those who, of course, just decide to leave perhaps your website or whatever medium it is that you're trying to use in order to attract visitors. So you have to measure why is it that perhaps they're not choosing to opt in. That should be part of your strategic thinking of how to potentially solve the possibility of having more people opting in. And it comes down to understanding and studying the alternatives within the funnel that you create. So spend a lot of time in your funneling process. So more than anything, Google Trends focus on learning that specific untapped information. Try to create content out of that information since it's not very well known. Try to develop valuable content, let it be known to the public, and eventually, with time, within maybe 12 to 24 months, you should have sufficient amount of audience to where you can create a product and eventually try to continue helping your customer by selling perhaps a higher quality content. So again, really important that you remember Google Trends. All right, so that's all I wanted to talk about. So remember, give it a try and see what you can come up with. Also, whatever keywords you get from Google Trends, look them up on YouTube to see whether other people have potentially started working on whatever it is that you uh, got interested in, I guess you could say. So, all right, so hope this helps.